Okay, DLs, in case you didn't listen to yesterday's Backstage Pass, Far Out Melbourne Night 2, went off like a frog in a sock.
Didn't it just? So many unexpected things happen, and this is the magic of live.
Yes.
Every show is very different.
Yep.
Boy, did we learn that between the two nights.
Yeah, we had so many mishaps and things go wrong, but it made the show really good.
It kept us on our toes,
It was
that's
so
for sure.
good.
I love the adrenaline dump when something goes wrong.
Do you? Yeah.
Well, I don't love it, but it happens.
It happens. Yeah.
It befalls me. I don't mind. But
very good for our recovering perfectionism.
yes, I'm learning.
The DLs freaking loved it. A lot of you thought it was part of the show, the things that went wrong. Absolutely not. Gem and I would never write things to go wrong into a show.
Anyway, if you want to find out what happens, listen to the episode. It's in our
Yes.
feed, and we will be covering every city in detail, as well as doing a breakdown of each moment of the show.
Yep. And the costumes. I've had all your DMs that's coming. We will break every part of everything down for you. All the sausage coming at you. It's a big sausage sizzle.
Yeah, it's oozing. It's a sausage fest.
Call us Bunnings on a Sunday. Backstage Pass.
Should we get into the episode?
On GP.
We have 1,000 things to do, but we'd rather chat to you. With emails and meetings and husbands and kids, we don't have time for this. Just what you need, two basic bitches with a podcast.
Hello and welcome to We Don't Have Time for This. I'm your host, Gemma Pranita, aka Gemma Pina on the gram, along with my co-host,
Kate Revz. How we all doing out there? We're on tour, so we are in full showgirl mode.
We are fizzing, DLs. I can't tell you what a ride it's been this year with getting the show up to the stage and to you DLs, and the relief I feel now that we're through opening weekend.
Yeah.
And just the confidence.
Yeah, it just went so well. It went better than any other year. I think the team is humming. The theatre was amazing.
Yes.
Even though the show is absolutely huge, it gets bigger every single year. I feel like the team are really galvanized. The theatre was epic. The audience was charged, man.
100p.
Melbourne, you brought it so hard. Canberra, you brought, like, everyone's just bringing the energy, bringing the vibes. Very exciting.
But to feel the confidence we feel in the show, that is the biggest relief for me, because we can make each other laugh in the creation, the writing, the rehearsals, trying things out. But until we put it in front of a full audience, of course we did a company run with our team, but they come with their own biases.
Yeah, they love us.
Obviously.
Yep.
But yeah, to put it in front of an audience and for it to be received the way it has, I'm that like sweating brow emoji where it's like, oh,
Yeah.
phew,
Yeah.
okay, we're away.
Yeah, we're away, we're up, we're running.
Yeah.
And then Taylor dropping all her news while we're being showgirls. It's very exciting. It feels very geschempt.
It sure does.
Now we have news. News everyone's been asking for. Yes, we've managed to do it. We will be live streaming.
We got Sydney Opera House over the line, DLs.
It was a journey.
It sure was.
But like everything else this year, it's been a journey.
And I just can't believe we're going to be streaming from the Opera House because we
Yeah.
didn't want it to be any other way.
No.
But there was
Gotta
a
be.
moment there where we were like, shit, are we not going to get to live stream from the Opera House? But nope, we made it happen.
It's happening. So we don't have time for this.com. Of course, everything will be there. Go and check it out.
Watch parties highly encouraged.
Yes, it sure will be, because we've got more treats coming for your watch party. Stay tuned on that.
However, we got to talk about our next show really quickly, guys.
Yes.
Bris Vegas. We
Yeah.
are coming for you.
We sure are.
Brisbane Powerhouse, one of our favourite venues. It's a vibe. Brisbane DLs know they are a unique type of energy. You guys are loose bitches and we love you for it.
I love it.
We have an extra exciting treat for you guys in Brizzy. Adore Beauty, the team, are going to descend on Brisbane Powerhouse, and they will be there from 5 till 7 p.m, right before showtime,
On Saturday and 2:30 to 4:30 on Sunday.
offering mini makeovers.
That's right. You don't have to worry about your glam, because you can just rock up, sit in the Adore Beauty chair, and they're giving 5-minute makeovers, makeup, hair touch-ups, the whole thing. There'll be goodies going around. It'll be a big, big vibe. So if you are having dinner before or drinks, whatever, make sure you factor in time to visit the Adore Beauty foyer activation.
They've got so many goodies for you, DLs, honestly.
It's so exciting and so cool. Mums don't have time always to get ready before they jump in the car or the Uber or get out the door. We know what it's like with the little rugrats pulling at your pants and playing with your makeup. Too hard. And the Adore Beauty were like, we got them.
But also, if you just want a little sneaky education, you know, this is your opportunity. You can go and get your brows done for you and get a lesson on how to do your brows by these profesh legends from Adore Beauty.
Very exciting.
You'd be mad to miss it.
Anyway, we are pumped about that. We just think that's so cool. Adore Beauty have been amazing to us. We love them. They have hooked Mel up with everything she uses on us in the show, and they just keep treating the DLs, and we love them for that. But also, yes, like we're not supposed to have favorites, but we always just have the best freaking time in Brisbane. I've got my girl on tour with us.
Yes, Isla's coming
Miss
to Brizzy.
Isla is having her first ever show fam experience.
She's going to be part of the crew backstage.
She's been very excited.
She'll be our showrunner.
Yes,
you
she
know?
will. She wants to be put to work. I've had to check the union rules on making a 10-year-old work in the evenings. But she's very, very excited.
Well, she's a frother. And
is.
you know what? Every parent who has a job, there comes some sort of perk, right? Like
Yeah.
your parent might be, I don't know, a doctor who can write scripts for you. Well, this is Isla's perk, is that her mum works in theatre life, and because she's interested, she gets backstage access
Yes.
to it all.
She's been along for the whole ride. She runs lines with me and Jem for weeks. She loves watching the editing. She loves being part of the costume.
She actually
stuff.
can't get enough.
She can't get enough.
Like
So
we had
into
to
it.
put a cap on it.
Yeah.
Like we were like, babe, you can't come to every city.
No.
Like it's no.
No, Mummy can't do that.
No.
Mummy can't be parenting on opening night, but she's great. She loves it. She loves to muck in. So that's really exciting for me and her, and hopefully for Show Fam. Everyone's like, oh, you're bringing your kid to work. Great.
No, they'll love it.
That's good. Anyway, Brisbane will be in you this weekend.
Bring it on. You know what I don't have time for? Well, actually, you know what I do have time for?
What do you have time for?
I have so much time for Iggy being so ready for school.
Yes, boyfriend.
Sort of just over midway through the year.
Mm-hmm.
So for context, DLs, we have chatted about this before, but it's this conversation appears to be coming back in the chat circles. It's in people's streams of consciousness, especially those who are thinking about sending their kids to school soon or have their kids enrolled. I've noticed around this time of year, you start to go, do I enroll? Don't I?
All the December, January, February babies.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, what do we do? What do we do?
There's a lot of anxiety about it.
Yeah.
And I get it. But I guess I want to speak from my experience. I also want to hear Revz's experience because she has the opposite of what I've done with Iggy. But for those who don't know, to bring you up to speed, Iggy is a Jan baby. So I had the option of
That's
sending
January for those who don't abbreviate everything.
Jan baby. Come on now.
You never know. It could have sounded like Jen, John, Jan, January.
You got to be kidding me, mate.
Born in January.
Yes. And I had the option to send him to school this year or wait. Can I just say the difference I have seen in Iggy from January this year to August is night and day. He is a completely different child, and now he is so ready for school. Whereas in January I was like, oh my God, like, mate, you are so far from ready. You're still not holding a pen. I don't know if you're left or right-handed. You're not interested.
He didn't want to turn 4
Nope.
or 5.
Nope. Just wanted to go back in the womb. Didn't wipe his own ass. Like, none of it. Like, there was still so far to go. And I have to say, waiting for him to start school was the best decision I ever made.
I feel like it wasn't even on the cards for him to go this
It
year.
wasn't for me. And I guess I found it really fascinating how so many people agonize over this decision. Whereas, yes, for me, it felt like a no-brainer. I've talked about it before, but Maggie Dent is our parenting guru and she has so much experience with many, 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 many parents. And she has always taken the stance that, especially when it comes to boys, waiting a year is the better option. And the sentence that always gets me over the line is Maggie Dent, who has handled thousands of families and given advice and guidance, said that she has never met a parent who regretted sending their kid to school late, but she has met hundreds who regretted sending them early.
Yeah, it's hard to make an argument for holding back. that doesn't expire. The argument you hear for holding back is, oh, they'll be so bored for a year. They'll be this for a year. They'll be that for a year. But you have to try and look at school as 12 years. You know, it's not 1 year. Like, you can troubleshoot 1 year of bored way easier than you can troubleshoot, I don't know, graduating at 16 or all the other things that can come with going too early. School is it's a marathon, not a sprint.
And look, there's a caveat to this, okay? There are definitely DLs who will be listening to this going, I sent my kid early with no regrets.
Yes, of course.
Of course, because clearly your kid was ready.
Yes.
But I'm talking about the fence sitters. And there's an argument I've been hearing a lot lately, or I've been receiving in my DMs, and it's one that I'm like, I actually can't relate to it. So I'm just going to be really straight and direct about this. There is a sense of concern when your child is the in-between age where you've got a choice, where you are worried that their cohort of friends are going to school and you worry about your kid being left out.
Oh, like they've all been at daycare together and all of those friends are going to school and yours is holding back for a year.
Yes, and it's quite common, this concern.
I've heard that a lot, yeah.
I don't know. I have really black and white feelings about it, which is, number one, it's not a bad thing to diversify your child's opportunity to make friends. So if their friends go ahead and start school the year above, by the time they join school, they will still know those people. You can still hang out with those people socially. There are no rules around this.
I will say it does change. The friendships definitely don't survive the level of intensity they have when they're together every day. Of course they don't.
Sure.
But that doesn't mean they have no friends. They make new friends.
Yeah, I guess we discount the fact that our kids are capable of making new friends. Of course. Caveat to this. If you've got a highly anxious child who struggles to make friends.
Yes.
Okay, I understand. But if generally your kid is fairly social, they're going to be okay. Also, the other thing I hear from people is like, my kid's like learning to read and write before they go to school. They're so ready. And Maggie Dent always asks the question, but are they emotionally and socially ready? Because school is going to stretch them academically wherever they're at. But school is no joke when it comes to the playground.
Yeah.
Because playgrounds are not like daycare. They're way less supervised.
Oh, yeah,
There's way more kids.
It's a Wild West.
It's a dog-eat-dog world. And that is where you want the maturity to be at its strongest, socially.
Say to that, particularly after kindergarten or whatever your first year of school is called, wherever you live. So kindergarten is often padded and like almost like daycare adjacent. There are more teachers. They stagger. You know, every school does it differently, but it's not like dog eat dog day one. You're not chucked in like the Wild West. It is a massive step up from daycare, but like usually most schools pad the kindies or the first yearers.
But then it's the transition.
And then you transition to year one, and that's where you can really feel it. Yeah, I don't want you to be scared about like the playground. They're shepherded in, but it is a funnel.
Definitely.
Yeah.
When it comes to the emotional, it's about self-regulating. When it comes to those emotions, it's being responsible for your personal belongings. It's about navigating the complexities of friendships in a playground. There will be times where your kid will experience being left out for the first time or not feeling part of a group or welcome. And kids can be fucking mean.
Yeah.
Again, not to scare you, but it can be really
it's real.
It can be a brutal experience for a lot of children.
It's necessary. It's an important emotional development phase.
Yes.
You know, there's a
and
reason.
Resilience building.
That's right. And there's a reason they're not heavily surveilled like they are at daycare, because it's not as dangerous.
Yeah.
You know, and they do have to start that 1 foot into being independent and learning how to be in a group without all pervasive adult supervision.
Totally.
Yeah. All these things are important and necessary, but they are, you know, very much happening
Absolutely.
when you start school.
And the reason why Maggie Dent, there's a whole article, we can link it as well, speaks specifically to boys, is because facts. There is a difference in emotional maturity between girls and boys.
Yeah.
I mean, Revz and I, as pigeon pair mums, we can attest to this. And also a lot of school teachers. Like Rachel Tagg, friend of the pod, was a teacher for many, many years. She told me that she could 100% tell the difference between the young boys versus the young girls in the group and the sense of school readiness between the two genders. And I know we sometimes get scared of gendering a conversation, but we also can't ignore biologically the development and the differences between boys and girls. I mean, literally,
It's not even biological. It's more like emotionally.
well, no, it's biological as well, because if you think about teenagers, you know,
Yeah.
girls stop growing by the time they're 18. Boys don't stop until they're 21. So that's a physiological transformation where theirs is delayed or it is more prolonged. Like the timelines are just different. They just are. And that's okay. You know, like I'm very comfortable with saying, you know, Iggy, we call him island time Iggy. He does everything in his own time. He's chill. He's not in a hurry. Like my kids are 20 months apart, but they actually feel like 2.5 to 3 years apart because Rafa is an older girl. She's so much more emotionally mature. She's also fiercely independent and she just tackles the world head on. And Iggy is more of a chiller. He's sort of a slow burn kid. He takes his time. So I knew with him that with school, I wanted him to thrive and not survive. And I needed that emotional maturity to catch up to him before I chuck him into the schooling system. I also want to preface this entire chat by saying it is a privilege to hold your kid back. Okay, that's another level of awareness that we need to add to this conversation
100%.
because
you're talking roughly 20 grand.
Well, yeah,
to
I mean,
keep
it
your
can
kid
vary.
in a daycare.
Totally.
If you can't get into community preschool or if you need nannies or
Yeah.
if you're two parents working or
100p get
single
that.
parent. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
But I guess if you're on the fence, I just want to bolster you
Yeah.
with maybe confidence in a decision. Speaking from my own experience, like you will not regret
No.
waiting.
I don't think I've ever met anyone who regretted waiting at all.
Yeah.
At all. It's hard. Like I said, it's very hard to argue against holding back. It just is so. I think this is one of those areas we get really obsessed about and then we almost leave it in the dust, you know, like you move through it. It's
So
like,
true.
It's like many stages of adulthood, like, you know, getting married, having babies, whatever. Like you take yourself back to when you absolutely obsessed about when to start formula or whatever. And now it's like, doesn't.
Or if your kid was late to walking.
Yeah, or if your kid, you know, when they weaned themselves or you weaned them or whatever, like you look at a lineup of 10-year-olds and you cannot tell who was breastfed, who was bottle fed, who had baby-led weaning, who started solids at 4 months versus 6 months, who had a great sleep hygiene as a baby. You cannot tell.
Who was sleep trained, who wasn't.
You absolutely cannot tell. Who started reading before school, who started reading at school, who was academically delayed. By the time they're my daughter's age, you could not tell. We're literally at a funny stage now where it's like, oh, some of them are getting tall. Some of them are short people. Some of them are developmentally racing ahead. Some of them are stunted. You know what I mean?
The growth
like
spurts.
Physically, you can see things, but you fucking don't remember these things we agonize over in our night thought. We like takes up so much of our anxiety and stress wanting to do it right by our kids. I can promise you this will be one of those things too, that whatever you do for your specific kid, you will work it out, whether you work it out now or you make a mistake and you unwork it out, which is what our family's situation was. Like it will be in your past.
It will be.
Yeah. So I want to just give everyone that breather. It just feels monumental because it's like, again, the new stage I'm entering, which is we're talking about high schools. And again, I'm trying to take this perspective in of like everyone's obsessed. Where to go for high school, what we're doing. Are we doing public? Are we doing private? Or are we doing single sex? Are we doing co-ed? Are we staying local? Or how far's too far to travel? And I'm like, I unsubscribe because I know it's kid dependent. It's family dependent. There are so many layers of factors that go into these decisions.
Yes.
Absolutely no one can tell you definitively this is what you should do.
I
An
couldn't
expert
agree
can't tell
more.
you. Your best friend can't tell you. The mum you agree with everything on can't tell you. It is up to your family unit, the parents, and the specific child on what is going to be right for you.
Revz and I often get asked, what was your school experience? Because I'm considering sending my daughter there.
Yeah.
And I'm always like, I
Can't tell you.
I can't tell you what the school is in 2025.
We went there 20 years ago.
Yeah, like it's impossible. And also, for every person who loved their schooling experience at our school, there is a kid that had a terrible time there and didn't find their people, or they left, or whatever. So it's impossible to answer that question. I also find it interesting when people ask others. Like, I understand you're seeking validation.
And we all
for
do it.
We do. It's a completely human instinctive thing that we all do. But I'm very big on, and I say this to Hubs because he loves coming home going, hey, so-and-so's partner's a teacher at that school and says it's great. And I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
I want to do a tour
Yeah.
myself
Yeah.
and get a sense of it myself.
Yeah.
And talk to our kids and learn more about their needs and observe them.
And you just said the change in Iggy in 6 months.
6 months.
So
night and day.
You couldn't possibly know what he needs from a high school right now.
Nope.
You know, he's going to be literally all his cells will have completely turned over. He'll be a literal new person by the time he's going to high school. I have no idea what Teddy needs yet, you know, and he's in year 2. The other thing, and I know I'm like a broken record with this, and I know I say it all the damn time, and maybe this is boring deals, I'm sorry, but I think as parents, we've got to stop thinking that all decisions are final. Parenting doesn't end. It's ever evolving, like us as human beings, like relationships. Children change, their needs change. And we might go, yeah, we're going to go to this school, or we're going to send him now, or we're going to hold him back. And then you can't change holding back, but you know, you pivot if it's not working out. You know what I mean?
Well, you could speak to your experience with Teddy.
Sure. So for new listeners, I have very mixed feelings, and I do have some shame around this, but I'm happy to talk about it because I'm happy to, again, give you perspective if you're in this position. So we sent Teddy, he's a May baby, so he was young, okay? He's born in the very beginning of May.
So he started school as a 4-year-old and turned 5 in May. Whereas Iggy for context, will be starting school as a 6-year-old.
Oh, as a 6-year-old, of
Yeah.
course, because he'll turn 6 in the January holidays.
Yes.
Before starting. So Teddy was in a classroom with kids ranged from, in his class, 4 to 6. And we had invitations to 6-year-old birthday parties all year, you know, and he turned 5. So 2 things happened that sort of validated our decision. We separated, and Teddy was 4 and he was at daycare, and it was time to decide, like, you know, I just want to say straight up, I wish you didn't have to decide. I wish it was like New Zealand or other places in the world where it's decided for you and they've done all the research and they just make a blanket rule. I feel like it gives so much angst. Or opportunity for people to make the wrong decision. But I honestly think it's a systemic thing where they can't help working parents enough. It's going to take years to unscramble their eggs, so they go, leave it up to the family. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for us, we had just moved back from the UK. We could not get him into community kindy. So we were looking at another 20 to 25K for the following year for care. We both worked, and that was our options. So at that time, while separating, that was a factor in our decision. Was like I don't want to say we can't afford it because I don't want to cry poor, and we could have found the money and all. Of course you can, but for us it was a big it's free to go to school, and it's 5 days of care versus 3 days. Yeah. And then we have to patchwork the other 2 days with family help.
Meanwhile, navigating separation, and different households.
Moving, I was moving out, and you know, and so it was like, it felt huge to go, what are we going to do with Teddy next year? And how's that going to work? And so much change for him, his parents separating. Like, do we send that to school to the one place together, one pickup, one drop off? You know, logistically, it made a lot of sense. And also, we were coming from the UK system where kids started at 4. Completely different system. Completely different, like the first year of school in the UK is kind of like daycare. You don't start learning like you do in Australia, but you know, because we have UK British family, he was going to start at 4 there. So we kind of brought that with us, right? Just that sense of, he's fine to start. Then we had carers at his daycare who said, oh, he's ready. They put him through the readiness test and they said, yep, he's completely ready. They did that, you know, that thing they do where they have to write things and draw things and they tick off this thing. Anyway, and they said, yes, technically he's ready, but it's up to you, sort of thing. So we were like, all right, do we try? And Teddy's dad and I actually really aligned on, we don't feel that permanence decision freak out. We're both very fluid with things don't work, we change it. So we always said, it doesn't work out, he repeats. Now, we were in a bubble because we thought that's no big deal. But oh my God, was I shocked by the community response to repeating. So we had actually the opposite with Teddy, where he was socially fine, emotionally fine, was absolutely fine in PE, in dance,
Physical.
in art. He had lots of friends. Any of the like circle time, group activities, he could hold his own. Where he was not mature enough was academically. So reading, English and maths, he couldn't keep up. And his teacher was like, he's just not there. It's not his fault. There's nothing you can do. I'm not going to give you things to do at home. He's too young. He's come too early. And we were like, okay, great. So when do we talk about repeating? The freak out of the teachers. They were like,
Really?
oh, let's not say the R word. And we were like, oh. And Teddy's dad and I were like, where? Like, we had to tell the school and the teachers and everyone
I didn't know this.
multiple times. We're like, we're cool. Like, Ted's cool. Like, we have zero shame or thoughts about repeating. We always knew we were sending him early. We always knew it was a risk. He took one for the team in the family that year, which I don't feel good about now. At the time, we were surviving.
Yep.
Now I don't feel great about. I should have asked for help, from my larger family. I should have asked, help financially or help with care, but I didn't want to. I was in a very independent, we'll work it out sort of time. So we were like, okay, great. He wasn't ready. He's had a lovely experience. It's fine. He'll repeat. It took like 3 terms for the school to even say acknowledge and then set in motion what has to happen, which by the way is nothing. It's like one piece of paperwork to repeat. You just sort of re-enroll them. And then what also surprised me was socially people like, so is he going to move schools?
Yeah, I remember you telling me that people assumed this and were just putting that on you. And you were like,
I was like,
why?
What memo did I miss where we're covering this in shame? And they were like, well, all his friends are going to go up a year. I'm like, yeah, but he'll make new friends and they'll still be his friends. And they are. It definitely his friendships have changed. He had 2 really great friends in his year that, he still says hi to them and stuff, but we don't have play dates anymore. And he still gets invited to their parties. They still come to his, but they're not like thick as thieves like they were, but he's made new friends and he's thriving, he's back on track. We did it really quickly. And so he did what we call year 1, the sequel. And we've always called it that. I would say I felt awful for about 6 weeks. He did have a transition period. It was about 6 weeks where he just felt funny and he didn't he knew it was going to happen, but then it was happening and he was like, oh, okay, this is weird. And,
To add to this, I feel like what worked in Teddy's and your favor was that the teachers identified it and then you and your ex acted really quickly.
Yeah, really quickly.
And I remember you having strat chats with Isla.
Yeah.
And being like, Isla, we're not making a big deal out of this, okay? Like you had almost a side chat with her to be like, we got to bring Teddy on board with this. We want him to feel secure and comfortable. The reason why I bring up the fortuitous timing is because my sister-in-law repeated year 5.
Oh, yeah.
She has emotional hang-ups around it, huge emotional hang-ups.
I know quite a few people who repeated year 4, year 5.
Yeah, and she was young for her year.
Yeah.
But she emotionally felt like, oh, I wasn't smart enough to keep up and also to watch her friends advance to their final year of school and then move on to high school. I think that's tricky because by year 5, you're very embedded. So I don't begrudge the argument that you might move your kid to a different school so they have got a fresh start, new cohort and don't have any of that kind of lingering residue feelings of like, I'm still in the same school, but my friends have
I think
moved
if you're
beyond.
older, sure.
Yeah.
For me, I really wanted Teddy to get the message that, it's fine. Like it's just the thing. It's in the system for a reason. Some people need to go again, and it's not your fault. You just aren't old enough yet, and we sent you too early, and you've done really well. And for me, moving schools would tell him that it was something to be ashamed about. Do you know what I mean? Like we love our school, and he loves his school, and I feel like that would be for Teddy. That would have been way worse because he would have been like, oh, so I don't even get to stay at my school. I've got to move schools. You know.
I think the thing I'm taking away from today's chat is the power of agility in parenting because another thing as well about this like need to cement decisions or have like a finite opinion on what things should be. Like we've all got to fucking consciously let go of that because when I do get questions about what schools I'm thinking of sending my kids to, it's the hot chat that, you do have to try and unsubscribe from. Hard to escape. But I'm just...
find it boring?
I'm very casual about it. Like I always say to people, my plan is chuck them in where I think is best. And if it doesn't work out, I move them, because at the end of the day, you get rotten egg year groups.
Yep. The teachers don't gel with your kid.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or, your kid just doesn't find their people in that particular cohort at that particular school. I'm like you, Revz. I'm okay with filling out more enrollment forms and dealing with the admin of that to get it right, rather than just go, oh, well, we made this decision. Now we need to see it through. But my kid's not I just personally completely disagree with that approach. And I don't know why we feel like it's so binary, these decisions.
I also think it's such a Sydney-centric
So
chat.
true.
And I hear Melbourne's quite similar. I actually think Brisbane's quite the same. But I know overseas, I don't know. I have no idea. But like if you are rural, you've got the local school and the Catholic school. You may have a single-sex option if you're lucky. Like the options are very limited, but it's kind of, I don't know. I think there's something beautiful about that.
I know. Sometimes
I think
too many options, it becomes a
just-
burden, and the mental gymnastics of it.
And personally, I have a real aversion to the old boys, old girls, like Sydney, fucking, where'd you go to school? Like, that makes me vomit.
The clicks.
It's gross. I'm not into it. And yeah. And it's interesting because I'm getting there with Isla where we're starting to go, oh, okay, where should she go? We've got lots of options in our area. And I'm just trying to be like, well, we will work it out in our family. I'm not taking on all the, of course I listen to other parents' experiences. You do want to hear that. And you do start to make these data sets of like, oh God, everyone who goes there loves it. Or I've heard the kids there are really well adjusted, or, the principal's supposed to be great or whatever, but fuck.
Yeah, but we all seek our own echo chamber, Revz, right?
And we're all these delicate little snowflakes. And so are our kids. I think it'll be amazing if both my kids end up at the same high school because they're so wildly different academically, socially, emotionally, as people. Their interests, their needs are so different. They learn so differently, so it would we've got a friend who has 3 girls. They all went to the one school and then one got into an opportunity class. So now they have 2 at one school and 1 at another. You'd never foresee that for yourself.
Yeah.
But these things come up and you adjust,
100p.
And it works out. As your kids get older, these things just get less and less of a big deal in your head, I think.
Totally.
I don't know. Maybe.
We've also got another girlfriend who was on the fence about sending her daughter to school this year or waiting till next year. And now, 7 months in, she's so glad that she waited. But her daughter is so ready for school from an academic POV. And so the preschool that her daughter goes to are just stretching her in her areas of interest. So she's like journaling, which is amazing before school to be writing so confidently. But like there's options, you know, like you can stretch your kid before school if they're hungry for it.
Yeah.
I
think I always knew deep down something would have to happen with Ted at some stage because I was like, there's no way he's graduating at 16. He's just not I don't want that to happen. I don't want him getting in cars with 18-year-olds when he's 16.
Yeah.
As a boy being late to maturity, that could be tricky. I think I knew deep down at some point we're going to have to address this as a family.
Totally.
It's just not this year. And it was kind of the casualty of everything else going on in the world, COVID, divorce, moving countries,
Totally.
I think that is, I hope that can be a comfort. If you have sent your kid early this year, say, and it's not working out, or if it is.
And give yourself permission to go, all right, that didn't work out. That's okay.
That's okay.
Let's pivot.
Yeah, totally.
Let's manage it. Revz and I also have a girlfriend who has a 8-year-old son who should be in year 2, who is in year 5.
Yeah, because he's incredibly gifted.
Yes.
And needs to be seriously stretched.
Yeah. And he, at this rate, will finish school at 14, but she's working out ways of mitigating that as being the end of his schooling year when he's 14 years old, because that doesn't sit right. And they work it out,
That's a
That's
very
a
niche,
super
but incredibly challenging, thing to navigate.
Yeah.
My God.
My favorite story of hers is she was advised to join Parents of Gifted Children Facebook group, Australia or something. And she joined in and then she sort of shared the details of her son and his IQ scoring. I know nothing about this world because my children are not in this, even slightly in this category. And she shared information about her son. And then the people in that Facebook group were like, oh no, you're supposed to join the super gifted kids of Australia, the Mensa invitee levels of kids. And then it was like a Facebook group for all of Australia. And it's got 200 parents
Oh my God.
in the entire Facebook group.
Oh
And
my
she's like,
God.
oh, okay,
Okay.
I'm here.
I
And,
have a
you know,
genius.
as a friend, I watch in fascination and adore how they're navigating this with such sensitivity with their son, considering everything in the most holistic way possible and working with the school. It's cool, you
It's
know?
very cool.
Like, we are more about tailoring things to our kids these days as best we can. Like, fully understand that schools are under-resourced and stretched. But
Yeah, I will say one place they are resourced is academically. So
Yeah.
like Teddy, like I feel kind of bad because it's like, oh, we kind of got a backdoor special treatment, you know, but he was put into Mini Lit, which is the New South Wales.
such a cute name.
It's so cute.
Mini Lit.
program to help with literacy for kids who are falling behind in literacy, which is an amazing program because some kids, their parents are shift workers. They've got a single parent home. They don't have parents doing readers with them after school. The parents can't do any educational stuff. Now, we can, but you know, the fact that the program exists is amazing. He also got put into Grow Your Mind, which was like an emotional scaffolding for kids who are a bit younger. Like there were some really cool things. So now he's in year 2, fucking killing it because he's had all this extra support in literacy. His reading is now above average in his cohort, and emotionally he's learnt so much from Grow Your Mind, which is now, I think, staple like program for everyone, no matter how old you are or whatever. They're rolling it out through all the schools, which is so cool. Yeah, it's like he kind of got extra stuff, you know, by
great.
going early, which is great. There are some really good things academically, and depending on your school, there are things socially as well. As you say, some schools are really under-resourced and they don't have the pastoral care or the psychological support that other schools do. Yeah, it's very interesting.
It is, isn't it?
Just like, again, it just depends where you are, who you are, what your situation is, where you live,
Who your kid
who
is.
your kid is.
At the core of it, that should be the most important thing you ask yourself. As we always say, fit the school to your kid, not the kid to the school.
Yeah. Like Isla, I remember we were so stoked to be in the UK when she started school because she, you know, she was she was an advanced kid. She was always quick to her milestones, and she was bored already when she was 3 or whatever. But you start at 4 in the UK, and it was
So
great.
it suited her.
It suited her. And then when we came home, she'd actually missed, because of COVID and the UK to Australia conversion, basically missed a year, but it worked really well that she could slot in. And her, because she's an October baby, so it was really easy. But yeah, again, I really wish there wasn't a choice. You know, so many countries there aren't a choice. You just
Totally.
you go, there's like an algorithm and you fit your kid's
Well,
birthday and off you trot.
You know, nippers.
yeah.
There is a very definitive choice. If you are 5, by the time it hits August 1,
Yeah.
you can join nippers. But
Yeah.
if you haven't, you cannot join nippers. Like, it's so black and white.
My understanding about New Zealand, and please correct me, but because I am like, this is crazy, but I love it, is you go on your 5th birthday. That's when you start school.
I find that
You
odd.
turn 5 and off you go. I think that's
What if-
brilliant.
What if you turn 5 in like November?
Off you go. That's when you start school.
But how does a teacher?
But then you just fall into the next, you know, like they obviously have like a reception year where you're
I
like
think that's
received.
cooked.
I think it's great because there's no question that kid is like at that developmental stage.
I know, but if you think about a curriculum, you're not
Well-
going to reteach ABC
No,
when
no,
someone's joining in
No,
November.
but they don't do it that way. The system is changed around what's right for the kids. So they don't start the ABCs on January 1st.
Right.
When you enter the school, there's like obviously a first year program.
Mm-hmm.
And then for the following year, you slip into curriculum and things. But that's how they like take kids in. Please correct me. I've heard this a few times. I'm like, that is wild.
So wait, so if you're born in July,
Mhm. You go in July.
I think that's weird. But I'm open to being proved
But
otherwise.
it's weird for us, the adults who have like structure and routines and things. But for the
Yeah.
child, it's like everyone starts on the same footing, you know?
Yeah, I guess. I
think
don't know.
I think it's cool.
Then
Anyway.
you're at some point the new kid? Only
Well,
kids starting?
but again, it's not our system. So the system's different. So you
Yeah.
get received in and then you sort of get fed into the
Yeah,
system through a
right.
different funnel instead of like day one, everyone come, you're all different.
Fascinating.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
What again, like we always say, there's not one way to be married. There's not one way to, you know, be divorced. There's not one way to be a parent or a family. Like there isn't one way for schools. But
No.
but because we've done it the same way for so long, it's this systemic thing we think is binary. But
Well, I do think education is being challenged more
Yeah.
than ever
Yeah.
in 2025. I mean, they've got more parents homeschooling in Australia this year than they ever had in previous years. You have, because of the access to the world, I guess. I mean, you have people following the Scandinavian
Yes.
teaching style, which is actually learning to read and write at 7. And apparently your brain is primed and ready, and you
And
learn
no homework before
learn
that.
it the fastest you've ever learnt it at the age of 7. And that's their philosophy. And, you know, there's a lot of data behind that absolutely backs that as being the best way to enter the education system at age 7. And prior to that, everything should be play-based learning.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting. We've got options.
Of course, there are people who do Montessori or Steiner or like,
Yeah.
you know, there's so many different ways. And I think COVID, and you're right, internet has just made it globally, people starting to question these systems, especially now we're so much more accepting of neurodiversity and learning styles. And I think it will be a really fascinating to see if our kids' go to a school that looks anything like the school because my kids essentially go to the same school I went to. It's not the same school. I mean, like the system is identical.
Yeah.
There's a bit more support for neurodivergence, and that's kind of it. Like everything is essentially there's library on this day, sport on this day, the classroom looks like this. Sometimes they sit in a circle, you know, but it's like it's the same school that I went to.
Yeah. I mean, more than ever now in 2025, I think schools need a full review and overhaul, and especially with the introduction of AI, because that's going to change a shitload. I've got a friend who's a year 10 science teacher and at a Steiner school, and he was saying that he absolutely is teaching his kids to use AI
Oh yeah.
because he's like, this is the future, so why wouldn't I?
Yes.
He literally says, like, if you're going to use AI as a base to write your reports or do your research, like, you need to let me know. And I'm fine with that. And he shows them examples of work produced by AI and then how to personalize it and make it your own. I was like, that's so, like, you're ahead of your time.
Totally.
You know, and he was like,
Cool.
well, I'm jumping on it because this is the way things are going. Why resist the inevitable?
Yeah. But also, why not unlock the available growth that can come
Yeah.
with new things like that, I think.
Yeah.
It's really
Instead of
interesting.
being scared of it.
Yeah, I can tell you guys, if you've got little ones or someone who's about to start school or whatever, as a mum of a 10, almost 11-year-old and an 8, almost 9-year-old, I guess, not really almost, but an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old, like I'm thinking high school, I'm thinking, wow, Isla needs this, Teddy needs, you know, something completely different. Like I'm thinking what schools have artistic programs or encourage that, like what schools are about free learning and autonomy and what schools have routine and systems and discipline, you know, like every kid's going to need something different.
And let's all just challenge ourselves a little to be malleable with what those needs are.
I think what we're not saying is it's us who has the like
Yeah.
it's the adult chat. Everyone gets everything becomes very high pitched and very fast, doesn't it? And loud. Everyone starts talking louder because they've heard, well, I heard this about that school. Or I don't know. Have you heard about this? Like it's like everyone wants to get it right.
Yeah.
And I understand
That's where the
that.
frenzied behavior comes from, is because we are all seeking that validation because we want to know that we've made the right decision. So really at the core of it, the intentions are good, but sometimes you just need to zoom out and just kind of check yourself in these chats and what
100%.
you're projecting. This is the other layer we haven't even talked about. The way we all project our own schooling experience onto our kids as if they're going to have the identical problems, challenges, or achievements that we had.
100%.
It's nonsense.
Still can't believe Isla's in the dance group. Every year she gets into dance group and I'm like, well, I don't know where those genes came from. Not from me, not from your dad.
That's so good.
You've
I love it.
You've drenched them up from some magical source.
That's so good.
It's so funny. And privilege. You've got to check your privilege on this one. Privilege of where you live, the amount of options, and of course financial as well. Like, fuck, these capital cities.
Self-awareness, DLs.
That's all we need.
We all need a healthy dose of it. Revzy, we've talked a lot today.
We have.
It's time to get into our not spawns. So hit me with your not spawn.
I have a recipe.
Oh, a recipe. Hit
Yeah,
us.
and you know we love cooking here now. I've quietly always loved cooking, and
You have. You're
have.
very
I'm-
good at it.
My mum thought I came to it late, as in I came to it in my 20s. But I really enjoy it. I like looking at recipes. I love watching cooking shows. I don't always make the thing, but this one I made, and I saw it on Instagram. It is a 1-pot dumpling bake.
Ooh la
Say
la.
what? And it's basically like you get one tray, like a ceramic tray, and you just chuck a bunch of sauces in, whisk them around, place your dumplings in, chuck it in the oven, and it's the most delicious, soupy, dumplingy thing. You just plonk it down the table, give everyone chopsticks and a plate, and hoe in.
Question.
Yes.
Do you put the dumplings in frozen or room temp?
These ones I put in frozen.
Okay, great. Even better.
Even better.
Because then, you know, there's that annoying step where you have to remember to thaw or defrost something.
There's not much to a dumpling.
Yeah, okay.
They don't need a lot of defrosting. You could put
Okay.
them on the bench for 10 minutes and they'd be sweet. It's so fucking easy. And because you're baking it, you're not... See, I find steaming and boiling dumplings still a bit stressful because I'm like, you take it too far, you fucked them. You don't
It's like
do it enough.
overcooking pasta. It's the
Yeah,
worst.
it's gross. But a tray bake, they just get a bit crispy and they're in all this yum
Ooh,
sauce.
yummy.
And they're like pot stickers, but you didn't have to like actually worry about them sticking.
Do you know what's an upgrade for me right now? Is once upon a yesteryear, you would have brought a recipe to Not Spawn and I would have
Tuned out.
Tuned out. Yeah, I would have
Waited
been like,
for your turn.
Yep. I'd be like, oh yeah, there will be DLs who love this chat. I'm just going to sit here patiently and feign interest. And the truth is that now I'm genuinely interested.
Yeah, one
And
pot
I'm
is
wondering
in
if
your future.
It is. It is.
Once you give yourself the trust
Well,
to deviate from
I
Marley
have
spoon.
mastered Meghan Markle's single skillet pasta.
There you go.
I can't get over how easy it is because what I've learned, this is not Spawn, it's going to sound Spawn, blah, blah, blah. Because Marley Spoon, I know, don't laugh at me, damn it. But Marley,
She's now working for Marley Spoon in the biggest way.
Shut up.
Like it's so beyond Spawn at this point.
but I know, but like it's true, okay? Because I've done only Marley Spoon for such a time. I didn't realize that Marley Spoon is like actually fancy cooking. Like you're kind of
it's advanced.
it's advanced. Okay, advanced in inverted
Yes.
commas.
Like
It's
people who
not.
actually cook are like, oh, all right.
I know, but it's still
Fuck,
pain.
pickle some cucumber.
I do.
all
I
right.
pickle my vegetables because
Put a
that's
little
what Marley
crunch
Spoon.
on top. All right.
Break some seaweed in your rice, add sesame seeds in your rice. Like all these extra steps that I didn't know weren't the norm. But for me, it's normalized
Yeah.
through Marley Spoon.
Yep.
Then I go and do my first basic bitch recipe on the internet, which is Meghan Markle's single skillet pasta. And I was like, something's not right here.
This is too easy.
It's too easy. Who is she?
Who is
Like,
she?
I'm like, what the fuck? There's got to be more steps.
Yeah.
But there's not.
No, you've done gem curry before going to Zumba.
Oh my God, I love that.
I remember when Zumba first started, I was like, Gem, I just did this class. It was so fun. It's called Zumba. And she's like, what? I'm like, it's dancing. And she went to one and she was like, yeah, that was so boring. It's just like step, tap, step,
No,
touch,
it wasn't.
step. And the same on the other side. I'm
It
like, yeah,
wasn't
'cause
boring.
it's
It was
exercise.
just very simple, which meant I could excel at it. So I kind of enjoyed that part of
Mm.
it, but it didn't sustain me long term.
Anyway, you've been doing gem curry, Marley Spoon.
Yeah.
And you can now, as you say, do
Zumba with ease.
Zumba with ease. And a one pot anything is fucking easy. Oh, we're kind of coming out of winter now, but next winter you should also get yourself a slow cooker because that's next level again. You just literally dump things in, turn it on, and it's ready at, dinner time.
Look, I'm only just deviating from a Marley Spoon recipe, so just give me time.
Yeah, I
I'm not
know.
ready.
Guys, we were on the tour bus in Melbourne. It was like a 20-minute Marley Spoon chat. And KD was like, this should be recorded. We should be getting paid for this because Marley Spoon were very good. Again, this is not sponsored, but they gifted everyone in Show Fam's family Marley Spoon while we're on tour.
Which is so lovely.
Which is so nice. So that they've all like been looked after while they're like one adult down while we're away. And fucking Show Daddy.
Me and Show Daddy had a whole chat about the chicken katsu.
Yeah, and then Rach was chiming in, and Katie's like, "Oh, I really like the meatballs," and it was like,
No,
this
the
is-
steak.
Oh, sorry,
the
the
steak.
the chimichurri.
Yeah, the chimichurri
chimichurri.
sauce. No, we did. We had a whole chat, and then Revz tuned in, and she was like, "Sorry, are you guys? Have you just spent the last 20 minutes talking about Marley Spoon recipes? Like, am I hearing this straight?"
I've been on this train for 3 years, so I'm like, this is old hat to me.
Yeah, but for us,
Anyway.
it's novel.
Love it, love it. Hit me with your not spawn. You're not spawn, Gem, so it can't be Marley
Okay,
Spoon.
have I got a not spawn for you? This is quite niche, but hear me out. It is cooking related. It's a Acacia magnetic Trivet. Now, in case you don't know what a trivet is, explain what a trivet is, Revz.
It's something you put down to absorb the heat of a pot.
Correct.
Yeah.
But this one is really fucking bougie. And the reason why it comes to mind is if you are looking to buy a friend a gift that they did not know they needed in their life, this is one of those gifts.
It's like a spoon rest.
Yes.
Yeah, you never buy yourself a spoon
and
rest.
certainly not a fancy one.
No.
But if you got a fancy one from a friend, you're like, thank you, I feel fancy.
Alright.
So this trivet, what makes it so special is you can basically hover any pot with a metal base or a cast iron base. So I have some cast iron chasseur cookware, which I'm obsessed with, in duck egg blue, in case you were interested.
Of course.
If you hover it above this trivet, there's a really strong magnet in the trivet and it just sticks to the base. And then it is very satisfying. And then you can serve up your meal in the beautiful cookware.
Gorgeous.
And just pop it on the table without needing anything underneath it.
Nice.
Also, you can't see the trivet, but if you were to search it, it's beautiful. It's timber. It looks real quality. It's not like this crappy little magnet looking thing. It's like, how does that work? That
Love
is
it.
so fucking cool.
Very
Anyway,
cool.
I'm obsessed with it.
Only you would discover cooking and like 6 weeks later need a trivet.
Well,
I don't
Revz,
know to trivet.
my hyper focus in life, now that I'm a chef,
Is cooking.
self-appointed chef, is I'm now obsessed with what are all the gadgets that are going to change my life. So I already shared on here
Your apple core.
my Apple divider,
Fucking hell.
which I'm obsessed with. Look, I'm going to bring something else to the pod next week that you've just reminded me of that is very pleasing and satisfying as well to aid your cooking journey in
Love
case
this.
you're a beginner or you're advanced.
You've yet to have me over for dinner.
It's true.
What
I
are you
need to have
doing?
you over.
Please.
Well, let's book
I'm
it in.
waiting for my
Well,
invite.
Can I be honest? I was thinking, like, shall I invite Revz over tomorrow for a hang because we're not working? And then I was like, she's probably sick of hanging out with me. Was my first thought.
Literally never, but I do need to get my laser and I really want new nails.
You're busy.
Yeah.
Yeah. See,
Also, I have to get book week costumes because you were
a cautionary,
cautionary tale.
Yay for me.
Yeah,
that was fucked.
You
by
came
the
back
way.
from tour and had a crying kid because you were the only one who could have remembered book week and you forgot.
Yes. Well.
So I actually have to go get book week sorted.
Yes, learn from me, DLs, because that morning was a fucking disaster. And I was like hungover, in inverted commas, from show life. I had a show hangover, aka dog beat tired, and then was dealing with a screaming 7-year-old who told me that I had ruined her life.
Well, you had.
I did, yeah, but I pulled it together. Taylor Swift outfit.
I just love that people. I've seen so many Taylor Swifts for book week, and I'm like, she doesn't have a book. I mean, I know there's a book.
Big People, Little Dreams.
yeah.
Oh my God, it's an amazing book. I
know.
disagree with it. There's kids who went as Minecraft.
I know. I am also against that.
No, you know what? Parents, you're surviving. Whatever costume you've got, make it fit to a book.
I know.
No.
Yeah, no, I agree. But
Can
also
I-
I'm like, oh my God, we've lost the essence of book week.
Can I just say really quickly before we go, because I shared this whole book week debacle on my Instagram. I got a DM from one of our costume makers for the show.
Yeah.
Her name's Lucilla. Old friend of mine and Revz is from our theatre days in our early 20s. And she goes, book week is quietly my favourite time of year.
100%.
And I was like, mate,
Yeah, it's her
if
time
I
to
had
shine.
your costume making skills,
Yes.
not only did she study costume, she studied set design. Like,
Yeah.
girlfriend is craft queen with a capital C
She's
and
also
Q.
an interior architect.
Yeah, like she's
got all the
I was
skills.
like, yeah, this is your time to shine.
Yeah.
And you know what? If I was your daughter, I too would expect a handmade custom.
I too would
epic
go as
costume.
Angelina Ballerina with the full mouse suit.
Anyway, it made me laugh, and then she laughed at my pathetic efforts at pulling together a Taylor Swift costume, which, let's be real, is a normal outfit.
I was blown away that Raf didn't have a pink sparkly dress in her arsenal.
She does,
Okay.
but it wasn't good enough.
Ladies and gentlemen, Raffaella Rooney.
Yeah. Yeah.
Love it.
Yep.
Oh, anyway, yes, that's what I'm doing tomorrow, book week.
Well, if you have time
You cooking me
in
lunch?
your day, you are welcome to come over for lunch.
Thanks. All right.
Anyway, just think about it.
I might just.
Okay.
Yeah, girl. DLs, we will see you at Brisbane Powerhouse. There are no tickets left, so you can't come if you're not coming. But lucky for you, there will be a live stream, and you can also grab your merch. It's time to start telling you better grab it before it's gone.
Yes.
It is flying out the door.
DLs, we love seeing you wear your merch.
I
To those of you who are sending us photos or tagging
Keep
us
it
in your
up.
stories, like, Honestly, nothing makes our heart happier than seeing you in the Who Is She merch or even our extended We Don't Have Time for This evergreen merch.
Yes, it's all very lovely to see you out there repping and starting those conversations in the playground.
Have a lovely week ahead, DLs. And as always, we'll be back in your ears bright and early on Friday with a Bestie Hotline.
We love you. Bye.